be.
That's fine. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Mountain Blade talk. Welcome, friends, audience members, YouTubers, whatever you want to call yourselves. This is Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader, the Last Scion, episode 3. Now, James wanted to call it the Easter special. However, as you know, it's always Easter somewhere in the world, specifically Australia right now.
That is correct.
Listen, I got a little special something for you all tonight. You may not know this, but my stream has had several sponsors in the past. Water,
H2O,
the letter H, the number 696969. But I am pleased to announce this stream, it has a first corporate sponsorship. So I just want to thank Shinra Electric Power Company. Shinra, using fear and power to create a better future. The official corporate slogan of Shinra. That's how you know a company can be trustworthy. Using Shinra energy, you can visit anywhere in the world, to the exotic pacified city of Wutai, or Niflheim, where absolutely nothing happened 5 years ago or so.
nothing at all. No.
Listen, here's the thing. There's gonna be a small section of people who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's okay. It's Final Fantasy VII reference. Don't worry about it. Yeah, look, I've decided that for most shows, I go around in a random order of whatever I feel like, but for this show, we have such a banner. Sorry, my camera's over. Such a banner existence. We're gonna move left to right. Atomic, you're mountain blading. You love talking about Mountain Blade. What have you been doing this week that involves Mountain Blade, or anything you want to talk about?
I've mostly been playing Mountain Blade. I say mostly this week, when I've had the energy to. I rearranged my office, so that was an undertaking because I had to undo. As people that know, anybody that knows, I have a stupid whatever cockpit desk meant for like flying and whatever. So, but I had all my cables ran perfectly, zip tied, nice. They're labeled. I had to fucking undo all of it. I had to kick the cat out of the room because I was like, cat, if you were a person, I would punch you in your face right now. But I had to undo all my cable management and redo it. And I'm still not happy with it, but my blood pressure is settled a little bit because I'm just like, it's been a thing. It's been a thing. It took me like a day and a half to get it the way I like it. Cause like, if I could see cables, like Other than that, just been doing some Mountain Blade. Been putting more of these shelves together for my model bench. Really, that's been about it. And just dealing with fatigue this week has just been like, So I know Sid feels me there on that one, but it's pretty much been it, man. I mean, games left and right have just been getting canceled because of work people have been having to do and people being sick, just normal sickness stuff, whatever else. So it's just been a slog this week. This week has felt very slow to me. But being successful in Mountain Blade has made me feel slightly better. So it's pretty good.
It is nice to be good at Mountain Blade. The problem is that every single day they're coming out with new fixes. The waifu chart for Mountain Blade, though, is so painfully accurate. I don't know if you saw it in #Games Chat, where they were like, Empire, good at everything. Batarians, railguns.
Yeah, no, I mean,
look, what is it? Their tier 6 archers are very good.
Their longbowmen are insane. Like, if there's a reason why I will let other armies besiege later campaign Battanian forts, because I'm like, if I get anywhere near this thing, I'm gonna lose all my good guys. Fuck that. I'll let Greg take his army of recruits and they can soak up the hits, and then we will win via attrition. It's just like,
so the thing that bothers me about the game is that in Mountain Blade, crossbows were good as fuck. Yeah. And if you stored a whole bunch of crossbowmen in a city, it was amazing and no one would ever take it, and then all of the enemy armies would look like spiky hedgehogs.
So
in Mountain Blade 2, the longbow is the deadliest weapon on the entire
Well,
battlefield.
Well, because right now, because armor is not like arrows are bypassing most armor value, that high, like I don't even remember if it was displayed or not, the high AP of crossbows is irrelevant. It's like, okay, if you pin one more armor, what does it matter? If you can, the rate of fire from standard bowmen plus the extended range from longbowmen makes, like right now it's just accuracy by volume, really is all it is. So until they fix that, and they're actually mods for it to make it whatever. I messed with one and I think I got broken, but when it did, crossbows were worth taking again because they have that higher initial armor pin, if I recall correctly, plus bodkin arrows, which you get fewer of, but because they have that higher pin, you know, if you know you're going to be fighting heavier armor guys or whatever, but right now it doesn't matter. So just fling as many arrows as you can and you're GG, game over, you're, you know, whatever. That and cavalry. So if you can put archers on cavalry, that's why Crusade wipes the floors, because they have tons of archers who are also on horses. So once they fix that, I think it'll be back to the way it was with crossbows.
Why is someone in chat saying to blaze? Oh my God.
No idea. Oh,
I don't know.
I will add one more thing. I should be having surgery on my wrist finally, which is fun,
nice.
because then it will be numb and I will no longer be able to feel anything in it.
Listen,
So-
I want to t-ball this real quick so I don't have to answer questions about it during the week. That symbol behind you is not like some sort of weird white supremacist, you know what I'm talking about.
Before someone asks, yeah.
Listen, I got questions about your Gadsden flag.
I know.
They're back in the day, so I was just like, yeah, no, he just really likes guns. He likes guns.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm just a proponent of the Second Amendment. It's like, oh.
So what is
like,
this symbol behind you that is definitely not some sort of far-right recruiting flag?
Far right. I mean, you know, I was gonna say it's.
Listen, I know it sounds like a joke, right? But I found out the gun range I go to, they were.
It's full of. Yeah. So.
It's very real around here.
It's called Vegvisir, and it was the Norse compass. If I'm recalling correctly, because it's been a long time. I've had this thing forever. You just never been able to see the wall that it was on. It was believed that it would help the Norse find their way through bad weather at sea. So I guess it's really a pagan thing, but they believe it had magical properties. But I just have it on a wristband and it's a bitchin', and I found a flag of it, and I was like, or not a flag, it's a wall thing, but yes, no, it's not some like secret 4chan conspiracy to recruit people for a cult or something.
Oh, I haven't even thought of 4chan in months.
Well, they've done like the thing behind making the OK symbol. They made that, and the people bought it. And we're like, oh, anybody making the OK symbol? It's like, how stupid. Ugh.
Things go viral very quickly nowadays.
I know, and that was their intent, was just to troll people. But people bought it was the problem, and it's like, the pain from the stupidity. It hurts me.
Well, I mean, the problem isn't that people bought it. The problem is the same reason that sarcastic subreddits like the Donald ended up
becoming the
yes,
snowball.
they become. Once you troll and say things like that, people who don't understand sarcasm get involved in it, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're all laughing together, guys, right? We control this Reddit."
There
now.
have been instances where people in pictures have made I think it was at a high school or something. They all made the OK symbol or something. I don't know if they were trolling it or whatever. If they were just making it because whatever. They got investigated by their school administration and had their stuff withheld or some stupid bullshit. There were police involved. It's like,
you know how it is nowadays. Everything is a disaster.
I know. It's like, oh man, it's like evil's not the thing we should be fighting. It's stupidity. Stupidity is much more common.
I think you'll find that they overlap.
Yeah, but I've run into
There's a Venn diagram with a non-zero specific area.
It's been a thing.
You know, speaking of someone who knows what Venn diagrams are, Sid Alpha.
Hello, yes, I am here. How is everyone doing?
Well, you know, it's a week.
It's definitely been a week. I had to finally things blew up with a Twitter troll that had been harassing myself and a great deal other content creators for almost half a year. That was a fun thing that happened. But I love sharing this, and you guys probably all know this if you follow my Twitter and all. I'm actually right now I'm working on the trolliest of troll YouTube videos, where I plan on doing a Dirty Devs Raid Shadow Legends video sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Is it actually going to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends?
Yes.
Wow, Sid, you
awesome.
were the dirty dev in that video. You realize that, right?
I made it very clear from the
my
outset.
God.
I want to make certain that I retain full creative control in the content of the video in which this sponsorship takes place. And then I went through and read and reread and then reread again everything that they have a requirement of for the sponsorship, and nowhere in there does it specify anything about my saying whatever I want to about Raid Shadow Legends outside of the sponsorship spot. So a lot of people have been worried, like, are you breaking the law, or could you be breaking the law by doing this? The answer is no.
If you disclose it.
So this video isn't out yet, right? You're still working on it?
No, it's not out yet.
I
But they do want it done by the 15th.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah.
But I also have to include my own damn gameplay, so I actually have to spend some time playing the game, which I really don't want to do.
You know, as they say, you have to stab Raid Shadow Legends in the back by the Ides of April. That is a phrase that I've heard before.
Might I propose a moment of silence for Sid's poor sanity?
Look,
I'll just record my son playing. You can have that video.
I mean, I don't need to play any more than like maybe an hour or two of it, so it's not that bad. But
sounds terrible.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy with me at all.
So what's your plan? Are you just going to do the sponsorship segment? The beginning is like, all right, now let's really talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it's going to be the most epic troll video that I've ever done, to where I managed to do a Dirty Devs video on a game developer and publisher and have them pay me to do it.
So there's a video that I haven't posted to the Discord yet recently that was a Sonic the Hedgehog versus Deathwatch Space Marines cartoon that's very funny, but it's sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and the guy mixes the ad for Raid into the video as well, which is why I didn't share it, because like if it's like a 5-minute long video, the last sort of full 90 seconds is regarding Raid, but his way of putting it is actually very clever. I thought, like I'm not interested in the game, but the way he sort of put in this pitch is quite funny, and he does poke fun at the game as well in his pitch about how good Raid is. But yeah, I'll post if you're interested anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, they really don't care as long as it puts eyeballs onto the game and draws more people to it. It's like they have very clear guidelines for the sponsorship blurb itself, which is supposed to be 45 to 90 seconds. But other than that, I can do whatever the hell I want. So
interesting.
I
feel like
really
this stream should have been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, given how much time we've talked about it and said the word. And let me tell you something, it is going, like, YouTube is going to pick up those words and keyword it.
Oh, there will be on the YouTube VODs. There will almost certainly most of the people watching this VOD will be getting Raid Shadow Legends commercials, or advertisements from the YouTube algorithm.
Just remember, it's all Sid's fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
There's a channel that I watch for some tech news stuff, and they wanted to. They were back when everybody was trying to figure out algorithm stuff out. They did a thing where they had mentioned a Barbie Playhouse once.
Yep.
And
why are you doing
everybody
this?
was complaining that
Why are
their
you
thing,
doing
it was
this?
recommending like toy stuff to everybody was like, I fucking hate you. It's just like, man.
Oh no, it's terrible. Google is terrible with that. It's like, on a voice call with Rachel and stuff, she mentions one thing and then she brings stuff up on her phone and that's all she get. We're in a voice call on Discord, and then all of a sudden that's all the advertising she gets.
You mentioned boats once, and then now you're, somebody, it might have been a live stream or something, and somebody, it was a VOD or whatever, and he talked about how he had bought a new house, and they were talking about lawnmowers, and it's just like John Deere ads. This is all it was. but he only mentioned it was like a 10-second thing about lawnmowers. It's like, man.
Oh yeah, Google is shameless when it comes to that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather have
It's his
lawnmower
fault and
ads
he'll
than
completely own it this time. Yes,
other
yes,
stuff.
I will. It is entirely my fault because this is hilarious.
All right.
I'm really excited about this video. That's been my week. Yeah.
People are excited. The Fury of Dracula episode dropped, and the Pandemic episode dropped for Board Game Cult. People really like your Hankula. They don't like me going bitch the whole time and trying to draw you into fights that I immediately lose badly. Like, not just lose, but lose real badly. You apparently came out as the hero in that video.
I'm very good at rock, paper, scissors, and that game is all about that. Even 2 versus 1, I was able to hold out pretty well on my own. I should have just been focusing more on running away, though. And I wish I got more of the event cards that are supposed to be mine, but no. All that stuff was like in the middle of the deck. I am glad that they're enjoying it because it's actually a really fun game, though.
Okay. All right. What else you got going on?
I don't really have much else going on besides that.
Do you have an episode at 8:00 tomorrow night, Sunday night, of your D&D 5e stream, Hunters of Ulvern, a Jesuit game?
Gestalt?
Jesuit, yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Jesuit?
Jesuit.
James, I want to claim that I'm not affiliated with this gentleman here. He's doing that on his own mission.
Listen, James got mad when I said Hopman.
Hauptmann. Look, there's always going to be words that you read before you hear. For a long
Solaris.
time, with my with my Scion game, which is like a Greek mythology game, I kept on referring to Eurydice, forgetting that was actually Eurydice because I'd only ever read it, never actually heard it, or in that context anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of. You never know until someone's like, "No, you idiot! It's this way."
That was a big thing with a lot of the characters in the 40K books. That it's just what people thought it was, and then the books came out. And you hear certain, a lot of the.
Yeah, of course.
VAs
Everyone knows the canon way of saying it is Robu Grimo.
It's Rowboat Girly Man.
Yeah, everyone knows his name is Jesuit.
Yeah.
Anything else going on, Pondo?
I jumped back into the hole that is Skyrim again.
Wow. Really? What's this, like the 6th time?
The wish.
Wait, Pondo. Are you playing a stealth archer?
No.
What platform are you playing it on? Refrigerator, Alexa, PC, mobile?
Stop. Now
PC.
We have to stop. You have to say the word stop if you're going to mention that particular word.
Sorry.
There are people that watch this VOD.
No, I honest to God forgot. I wasn't trying to troll.
And they listen to it out loud, and then their stupid little Amazon assistant, like the one that I've got, will kick in, and then they're like, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said." Okay.
So
Calm
is it
down,
on your
assistant.
refrigerator?
I know you're joking about that refrigerator thing, but I feel like in the future that's going to be less of a joke.
Look, I spent 20
The
minutes.
Internet of Things, man. I know you know what I'm talking about.
20 minutes, like I don't know, like a year ago, watching a guy play. I think it was Doom on his fucking refrigerator, man.
I mean, they have Doom on everything nowadays.
I know, but
they have Skyrim on everything nowadays.
Yeah,
they have Doom. Well, they don't have it on everything. They have Doom on the monitors in hospitals, like the little.
Yeah.
Really?
I knew a guy in.
Really?
I knew a guy in
the monitors where they track your like blood pressure
your vitals
and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's due to the whatever the thing. I mean, I know a guy I went to high school with. I know there was one class he didn't get anything done with because he learned he could play Doom on one of his fucking calculations. can get anything done. Just sitting there playing Doom. I'm just like, whatever. If you want to pay college tuition to play Doom on a calculator, man, you have more power to you.
Play it on ATMs. You know?
They played on almost anything. It's just, if you can get into the operating system, you could probably play Doom on it.
Yep. I haven't really done much else. I've beat Doom multiple times now. That's a fun game. I still have to do it on Extra Life. I still need to do it at Ultra Nightmare at some point, which is gonna be a pain.
Oh, yeah. Iron Man, go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, James, before we jump to you, I want to add that it was recently discovered that there is an obscure law in Australia where the government is required to give those who request it portraits of the Queen. Have you requested yours, and when will it arrive? In these times of spiritual counseling, I too wish to gaze into the eyes of someone who has survived since the beginning of time.
So, I mean, certainly growing up in Australia, like all schools used to be required to have a portrait of the Queen up in like a prominent area.
Okay, listen. Yeah. You don't need to. We're Americans here. We put the American flag everywhere.
Yeah.
We hang them from our houses. Every school has one. We say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hey, look,
make our clothes out of it?
That's illegal. Don't do that.
I asked a friend of mine who'd moved to the US. I might have told the story on one of your streams before, but I asked a friend of mine who moved to the US, what is the one thing about Australia he tells Americans always blows their mind? And he said the one thing that always seems to get the most reaction is the fact that we don't have the national anthem at anything less than major sporting events. Like, just college football matches, all that sort of stuff. No national anthem.
We have it everywhere, man.
Yeah.
There are people that say the national anthem before sitting down to eat.
Look, you don't have to talk shit about Texas, okay?
Yeah, I know. I was specifically targeting them. Texas keeps telling me not to mess with it, but I keep stepping. I know it's a very serious problem.
It's just too big, you can't not step on Texas.
What do you got going on, James?
I've had a pretty busy week. I ran my own BattleTech game, and just for a bit of fun, I decided to record it for once because we were playing it on TTS. And I asked my players if I could share it with a few friends. And one of the players was sort of saying, as long as it's not general public consumption, because he'd have a bit of a temper tantrum about getting hit in the left side when he was targeted from the right. But so I put it to a very select group of everyone in Arthur's Discord.
Proportionally, it is a very, very limited group of people.
Very select group, as I said, but it's had some fun response there. I mean, it was really it's hard because it's literally a game in the middle of a campaign, which has no context. But I just thought for people that wanted to see some more BattleTech, it was an option. Other than that, really, I've just been painting models. I built like 3 rhinos. There's one right there, in fact. This week, and painted 2 of them, painted some more Imperial Fists, and I played like an hour of Mountain Blade 2. I got it last night, but it was distracting me from making notes for this game, so I decided to step away and get my notes finished first. I didn't want to be like my wife and up at 4 a.m. playing computer games. So
look, your wife might be my spirit animal. I'm just saying.
I just posted that video in general chat.
I didn't go to bed till 9 a.m. because I was playing fucking Mountain Blade.
I mean, as Arthur said, it's Easter morning here as well. So I've been up this morning early, taking my kids around Easter egg hunting in the back garden as well. So it's been a week and nice 4-day weekend. So 4 days of going downstairs and not working rather than just going downstairs and working.
Yes, that's the sign of a man who's going to pledge himself to the Southern Empire.
James just built rhinos, painted a bunch of stuff. I built like 2 Sanguinary Guard and a Ball Predator. That's it. It's like a factory, man, comparatively.
Lots of people in the world built less than that this week, Atomic. So
true, but I mean, it's just like I guess I did build 2 Armigers. I guess those count. Yeah, forgot about them.
Well, I'll tell you, James, my video for how to play BattleTech on Tabletop Simulator has been exploding. Right around March 13th, the curve goes from like this to like this in terms of viewership. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more games being advertised in different places, and I don't know where, but I'm curious to see how it is. A lot of people are moving their in-person games and are saying, "Hey, I'm moving my in-person game, Tabletop Simulator, and your video helped me." And I'm like, "Fuck, man!" Like,
I will say that the email that went around this week from the Catalyst Game Labs demo team manager, Mary, to the whole team, but the first of, so they've cancelled attending any cons before the end of June. So that means Origins is out, for example. Gen Con's still a possibility. But they have said that they're, because normally with demo agents, you're supposed to do a number of games per year to maintain your status. And they waived that rule this year, but they have said they've encouraged demo agents to find ways to run games online. And they suggested TTS as one of the ways to do that. And they included some resources in that file to the agents on how to actually, and I should have said to her, you should have included this link. This link shows you how to do it.
Link, yes, absolutely. You'll go do that now. Do it right now.
All right, I'll be right back.
Send the email.
It's literally a 6-minute video that explains by hand how to do everything you need in order to get a game going. It took me hours. It took me months of planning and then hours of recording and editing. And now people are like, I would never have played I've never have played BattleTech. You got me into it with this video. And I was like, man, I've changed the course of your life with like 8 hours of editing. I have made a terrible mistake here. Because now Pondo's going around and he's like, you know, I need to find more space in whatever new home I get into. Got to set aside a Warhammer desk to paint these models. And I'm like, God damn, fuck! I've ruined the world. I've made things worse.
It makes me think about the comic that's out now with the kid or the guy that turns up at the gates of heaven with St. Peter there, and he says, I've wasted my life making podcasts. And St. Peter's like, no. Thousands of people watch your podcasts. You've wasted thousands of lives.
Yes, exactly. That's how I feel. People say this stuff to me.
Yeah, I wonder. I've thought about that a while back. I was like, I played when I was in high school. I guess it'd be my freshman year of high school. There was, end of the year, right? You got doing fuck all, whatever. And it was in the band room because I was a band nerd, surprise to no one. And
you were a band nerd?
Everybody's just, oh yeah, dude, I can play trumpet, French horn. I played the violin when I was younger. I was in marching band too for a while, but we were just like, oh wow, let's give D&D a shot. I used to play D&D once in my freshman year of high school. I wonder if those guys that I've lost contact with ever realized how many fucking tabletop games I play on a regular basis now. It's just so much time.
What else you got, James?
That's about it, really.
All right.
I was going to say, Atomic trumpet players represent. There you go.
Yeah.
No, listen up, you motherfucking trumpet players, all right? Those of us who were first chair trombone or over here, you guys get the solos and shit. Everyone's like, need a trumpet player. Trumpets are the most important part of the brass, and I'm over here with the trombone holding it down for New Orleans, okay? We understand that. Now, in New Orleans, we're better than you, and we get one location in the whole world.
Here was my thing is I was very good at playing, and I have medals to prove it. I won in competition stuff. The problem is because some of our marching band was good, a bunch of other people were there that weren't. So I was playing, I don't know, what second or third section, whatever, because all the people in that doing that part of the music were terrible. So I got put in that to help carry that, section of whatever, marching band, whatever. And it's like, I never got to do any of the cool solo shit or any of that. I was there for the power because I can be very loud.
So coming up later on this month in Australia is a thing called Anzac Day, which is sort of like the equivalent of the US Memorial Day. Mm-hmm. And normally a lot of people go to dawn services to watch soldiers or families of former soldiers march at dawn. And obviously no one can go outside right now because of restrictions. So the government has asked people if they want to participate to stand by their letterbox in front of their house at 5 to 6 in the morning on Anzac Day, and they've said anybody who has a musical instrument and can play it to please play The Last Post and Reverie in your suburb. I'm like, I have a trumpet and I can play The Last Post and Reverie, but I don't know whether that will annoy my neighbors for not playing that at 5 to 6 in the morning.
I mean, the biggest thing will be, your lips are out of form. That'll be your biggest problem. I still pick mine up from time to time, and my fingers work. I still know the music. It's just you so out of practice that I can't hit high notes anymore because it's just like.
James, I had experience recently like that when 2 days ago was the 1 year of Avengers Endgame, and people were posting videos from in the theater and the live reactions, and I got to tell you, I love hearing the energy of the crowd, but if I'd been there, I would have been like, shut the fuck up! Jesus, I'm trying to watch the movie! So, in your mind, I'm sure the performance will be great. And in retrospect, your neighbors will probably be like, fuck, god damn it! You have to do it anyway. You have to do it so that 1 year from now, someone can watch a video of you and be like, that was very respectful to do that on Anzac Day.
Is it spoilers at this point? I don't think it is. It's been long enough.
What, Endgame? No, you can't spoil it. No, you don't. It was just added to Disney Plus like 2 months ago. It's not like saying Vader is Luke's father, okay? That's like 50 years. There has to be a limit. It's been long. Just wait.
Okay, without spoilers, I had AP's nightmare where I was sitting beside a couple of jackasses who every time there was a moment, they were loud as hell, and I was just like, I just wanted to just chop them right in the throat. I'm just like, shut the fuck. I can't. I hate those people.
You can't spoil Roseblood. How are you gonna do that? What is that, Citizen Kane?
Yes.
God, yeah. I mean, that'd be like someone showing up and be like, Enkidu dies at the end of the tale, and someone's just like, you just ruined the fucking Epic of Gilgamesh, motherfucker! Oh my god! It's only 4,500 years old!
Or, oh god, any of the, one of the myriad of movies about the Odyssey. Spoil that for somebody.
I mean, I see that now where people are like, I'm going to post a review of The Hobbit, no spoilers. And I'm like, it's been a century, okay?
Yeah.
It'll be good.
I was, you mentioned it. I was wondering why people were posting stuff about them, horrible cell phone footage or whatever of people reacting in the theater for Endgame. I'm like, I was like, why is this why is this a trending thing? What the fuck is going on?
It's the 1 year.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's just
I'm rewatching Endgame now, so I'm right up to the middle of the movie, and things are about to go really bad on Morag. So
I've had movies ruined for me because at the time when Mad Max Fury Road came out, and I lived in small town Alabama, I went and saw it on a Tuesday. Only one in the theater. Whole thing to myself. Literally no one else there. And so I had the best seat, and Fury Road, just all to myself, nobody making noise, and it has ruined movie theaters for me. I can never have that experience again unless unless you miss me. Yeah, well, I don't think there are any Alamo draft houses in Florida.
Yes.
So there aren't any up here.
Yeah, no, sorry. They're through the real South, from Texas to West Virginia. That's about it.
So I've had that experience twice in my life, Atomic. First time was Titanic. Second time was Species.
Wow.
So not exactly great films to get that experience around.
I mean, it was just so good. The Fury, it's just, plus it helped that the theater there, I guess it's run by people who are deaf, so it was louder than normal, which for Fury Road, beautiful. It's so good for a movie like that where, it's mostly on vehicles, and it was just, it's perfect. It's been ruined. I'll never be able to enjoy that experience again, and I'm just sad inside.
All right, James, let's jump it back to you. What do you got for us?
All right, then. So we'll start off with, as before, the last time on Rogue Trader, the Last Scion. So we have a montage of scenes once again. Nero slays an unconscious man with a blade through the neck while Garth visibly recoils as if struck. We see Pierre officially taking the reins of the household by signing the final page of the warrant. Nero accosts Sister Miriam in the hall regarding her connection to the Inquisition. Then we see Charlebel Armelin showing Pierre her harlequin weapon during a dinner. And finally, her ship, the Grace of Sofa, translating into the warp upon leaving Port Wanda. The screen once again goes blank, and we see a thought for the day. An unprotected soul can no more cross the storms of the warp than a heretic can bear the gaze of the Inquisition. And when the camera comes in again, we see the inside of a ship, and the ticker at the bottom reads 1 year ago. And then we see Nero step out of a room in the ship, or through the bulkhead. And Nero, you're on your way. You've been summoned by Lucius York. York is the master at arms on the Hand of Calixis under the former rogue trader Cowles, roughly a year before the game date.
I just want to be very clear. I feel like as he steps out, the live audience is all like clapping and cheering, like, "Yeah, he's appeared." That's. Yeah, I go. So I definitely don't have the heavy bolter, and all I've got is the Ghostbuster style las rifle, and I stalk, glowering through the Hand of Calixis, making sure everybody knows that I'm real bad.
All right. You go through another doorway which leads into a strategium hall, basically, and York is there along with a number of the other armsmen aboard the Hand. He's sort of giving out individual orders, and when he sees you, he summons you over. Nero, we've got a situation we need to get on top of quickly. Lady Cowles has ordered us to secure the Engineerium deck. She plans to move the core, and we need to make sure that all non-essential staff are moved out of the pathway between the Engineerium deck and the shuttle bay. Apparently, she's taken the core down to Regina 4. So I'm giving everybody an area assignment. I'm going to give you 2 servitors as well. So I need you basically to clear this hallway and then ensure that nobody re-enters until we give you the all-clear signal that the core has been moved.
So I think he's going to unholster his leg shotgun holster for his las gun and, power it up so it makes obvious noise and, check it and make sure it's clear. Just general movie hero stuff. And say, Master York, I assume that the orders still stand, that we are not to talk to the regular crewmen about the core.
That is correct. Yes, this is at the end of the day. I'm not expecting conflict. Lady Cowles wants to ensure that as few people as possible know what we're dealing with here, and so she just wants this to be moved once again, essential eyes only.
What are we dealing with, sir?
Look, all that she's told me is that it's some form of archaeotech, and that it's been on board the ship for a while, but now she has plans for it down there with that relic they found.
Understood, sir. And he's going to gesture for the 2 servitors to follow him and go stalking through the corridors again.
Okay. So there's a couple of scenes of Nero sort of pushing people, well, not physically pushing, but telling the clans and crew that this area is off limits. Sorry,
he's a good stormtrooper.
Locking down a doorway and then basically standing guard effectively on the other side of the doorway along with these 2 servitors, which they're like combat servitors, but they're not like heavy bolters. They've just got like a combat claw. And they just stand dull-faced, staring ahead, waiting your orders. You can hear through the bulkhead the sounds of machinery. There's probably whatever they're using to transport the core is mechanized as such, because you can sort of hear the metal on metal of something moving against the deck plates in the hall beyond. And as you're staying there, so your brain clicks that this is a memory. That this is something that you've experienced before, and it's like you get the sensation that it's that realization that this is probably a dream, and something about this feels more nefarious than what actually happened in your memory. And as the sound passes the doorway behind you, the servitor to your right suddenly begins to twitch, and it turns towards you, and you see its flesh start to boil and slough off the metal frame underneath, and effectively its augmentation start to burst through its skin, and as the mechanical arm reaches for you. And you do remember that you were certainly attacked by this servitor, but the way that it's giving up its physical form in this dream reminds you more of the things you saw when you fought chaos before. And this is not like, this has triggered that sort of that primal hatred or primal fear that you've got regarding things with the warp as this thing mutates and leaps towards you. And then you're woken by the sound of a ship's whistle, and you're in your berth on board the Grace of Sofa, and an announcement comes out. Translating back to real space shortly at Footfall. All crew make ready for translation.
Okay. What do I know is involved in that? Do I need to stand somewhere, or can I go find the Lord Captain?
For you, you're not actually a crew member on this ship,
right,
so yeah.
I'm gonna go stalk through the halls and find the Lord Captain.
Okay.
My preparation
previously
involves holding my hand over my wine glass.
So you know that previously, whenever you translated out of the warp, you've always been invited, or at least the captain's always been invited to the bridge, and you are at your destination system now in the form of Footfall. So you'll probably find the captain on the bridge.
I head to the bridge.
Okay. So presumably everybody is on the bridge when you arrive. I assume everybody would be sort of wherever the action is at the time. The ship translates back. You go through the sort of stomach dropping feeling, and once things start to return to normal, the deck plates sort of seem to stop shifting underneath you, and the shutters come up. The bridge is bathed in this red light from this gigantic red star, which fills the Footfall system. Like everything, it's like you sort of lose all other color in the room as this red light fades in, and yeah, the star sort of is pulsating, and you can see tendrils of fire sort of flaming off it from this distance. It's whatever it is, it's sort of in a stage of life where it's not maintaining a solid sort of circular structure. It has these constant coronas of energy sliding away from it into space. Sort of silhouetted against the starlight, you can make out what you assume is Footfall. It's not a world or a station, so to speak. It's effectively a large, irregular asteroid on which there are several clearly Imperial structures built. And then there are other smaller asteroids which are tethered to it by gigantic chains on which other structures are built as well. And then a number of ships, probably even more ships than you saw at Port Wanda, are moored around Footfall. There's probably at least 25 ships here in port, basically.
So, Pondo, does Cowles have Secret Tongue Rogue Trader?
I think we've covered that you can use, if you've got Secret Tongue Rogue Trader, you can communicate to him.
Yes, I've just learned it specifically for this.
Yep.
I say a few words in test. So I feel like the language that we speak is specific to the
Hand of Calixis.
Yeah, the Hand of Calixis. And I say, "Sir, as a follow-up to remind you of our situation, I am currently cursed by this ship's ridiculous rituals. Miriam is an agent of the Inquisition who works directly for the woman who tried to kill you. I may not have mentioned that to you yet. Riani
that would have
Xantai,
been very useful information to know.
Yes, you may note that I have had several private conversations with Miriam recently about this very situation. I'll be keeping an eye on it, since my job is to keep you safe, not in a defensive capacity, but in a sort of erasing obstacles in your path. And should Miriam choose to become such an obstacle, I assure you that there will not be enough left of her for a funeral." Riani Xantai has joined the crew. Charmelin, he's gonna nod at Charmelin, my personal name for our host, is very poor and is desperate for logistical contracts to move cargo from you. And we received an Emperor Tarot reading indicating that we should forget the past and let the good times roll because everything will be favorable in the short term. All of our ventures will end in success with just rewards.
So it's at this point that you hear a vox click from the con feed. And Cyrax will chime in because I have secret tongue of traitor.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah. And he'll just go, success is commemorated, failure only remembered.
Very wise. Garth, do you also speak this tongue?
Swirls his wine.
He switches back to low Gothic and says, Garth, I need to speak to you about sending a message later.
Yes, of course.
I'll need to send them on a regular weekly basis, so we'll be spending more time together than perhaps you'd like.
Look forward to that.
How long of a message can I send via you?
So the longer the message, the greater the chance for misinterpretation.
I understand. So, Garth, what do you say?
The shorter the better, for clarity purposes.
Very well. I will recant the message. And you see Nero pull out like a 20-page document. Just be like, I'll need to rework this. We'll talk later.
Think about those old style tabletop games that we read about as children, where they had 24 words or less.
No, we use those all the time back on my homeworld.
Oh, was that actually a thing?
I'm imagining that
tabletop wargaming was very popular in order to train children in the art of killing pirates.
I bet you
it's still pirate. It's called regicide.
I mean, when you say, I bet you were an orc, his hand tightens on the hilt of his heavy bolter, and he says, yes, orcs. I love orcs. They're the best.
I thought you might.
It's really the Iron Warriors actually played their own version of, it's essentially 40K in 40K. It's like, really? But yeah, they did. Oh god, it was great. It's in the books.
Lord Captain Charbella. You could tell he's struggling not to say Charbella in low Gothic. Armelin, will you be docking at the station, or should we be heading to find a shuttle for transport over?
So there's no ship docks at this station. We just maintain an orbit, so we'll take a shuttle down to the surface because.
Of course. I mean, I know all of this because I've been here many times before.
Yep. Yes. I'll see to that. I'll make the arrangements. Maybe if you want to gather your things, although. Will all depend how things go with this foretelling as to whether I can take you further to Regina to pick up your ship. But maybe for safety's sake, you might want to gather your belongings now and your crew just in case you need to secure a different vessel.
Lord Captain Armelin, is this ritual curse that has been placed upon me lifted yet?
Oh yes, now we're arrived. The crew should treat you normally.
Thank you. Nero is going to turn to Sister Miriam. How do I want to phrase this? He's definitely going to say it loud, like he's not going to shout it, but he's going to say it loudly enough for as many people to misinterpret it as possible, and say, Sister Miriam, as you know, you wanted to arrange a date by which I could transfer you my genetic material. We should arrange for that on footfall as soon as possible. I'm really looking forward to it. Then leave the bridge.
So she goes to stop you before you leave. Nero, one moment,
Yes.
and Lord Captain Cowles.
Yes.
I've just received a message that now we translated back that the onboard astropaths have received a response to my request about your finances. So potentially we should give me a chance to review it, and then if it's urgent, we should discuss it before we leave.
Should I be there for that?
Well, you asked me to do this, so
I did. On behalf of the Lord Captain. Look, I mean, he's going to turn towards Pierre Cowles and say, Lord Captain, should I be there for that?
You can stay if you wish. You know about it. At least you know of the situation.
Very
Not
well.
exactly the details.
Shall we find a private conference room then?
Yes.
So Charlotte Bell points you towards a room you can use that is sealed to outside communications.
I go in and I take a look around and make sure there's no like servo skull disguised as a goblet or something like that.
Servo skull with a lampshade on it.
Yeah, the classic.
Is it just the two of you plus Miriam, or is everyone else invited in as well?
I think it's just Pierre and Cal, and then Pierre and Nero.
Okay. So you head in there with Miriam. She pulls out a data slate and sort of reads through the response that she's got. So it was your mother that pulled the funds out of the escrow account that you asked me about. Apparently, they were redirected to buying several ship components. Largely, it looks like a substantial amount of repair components. So a lot of hull plating. This all looks cruiser scale equipment, although could probably be easily refitted. They were transported aboard a ship called the Martyr's Burden, to Regina. It appears that was actually the ship that discovered the abandoned Hand of Calixis, well, abandoned insofar as the senior crew. And that was also the ship which transported navigator Zantai back to Port Wanda. Apparently when they came through Footfall, they made brief contact with the Mechanicus Templum here, but then they returned to Port Wanda, and according to the records here, because the parts had already been purchased by the Cowles dynasty, they were left with this safekeeping with Forge Mistress Marvorn of this is S914R9, which I believe is one of the asteroids that orbits Port Wanda, for safekeeping until they can be claimed by your family line. So it looks like the money that you were looking was used to buy a large portion of repair components, which are currently sitting back at Port Wanda.
You said it was for a cruiser?
Yes. Or the sort of ship that would be a cruiser sized.
So just to be clear, James, I would know that this is for that ship then.
You'd assume so, yes.
Not for the Hand of Calixis.
No, I mean, if the Hand of Calixis is in any way damaged, probably a lot of these parts could be used to repair as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think Nero is not comfortable discussing anything like this with Miriam around to start with, so he just glances at the Lord Captain and says nothing. Significant PC glance. Look, you guys laugh, but if you saw it on television, you know exactly what I was talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
The look.
Yeah, the look.
So Miriam looks at Nero and looks at Pierre, and she's like, "I'll go find Peck and get my things gathered."
Before you go, is there any way to reverse the transaction for these parts, get a refund, and continue the purchase of the Gilded Throne, the Falchion class?
That's my only answer right now is potentially. I need to make some further inquiries on that behalf.
Is that something you're interested in, Lord Captain?
Yes.
Parts that far away for a ship that is not the Hand of Calixis are of no use to you.
Depending on how the Hand of Calixis looks, we can see if it can be used to repair anything that needs to be done on it.
They're very far away, Lord Captain. I cannot stress that it has been 4 weeks of transit on the fastest ship that we could find.
We've already paid for the parts. We might as well get them. But ultimately, it would benefit us if we could get the money out for other things.
So Nero would know that there are no ship refit yards within the Expanse currently. So any sort of repairs that would need to be done that would require a refit yard would have to be done at Port Wanda anyway.
I think he'll say something like that. Not really it would be something he'd heard someone say, but he doesn't understand what it means because he doesn't know how to fix a ship.
Yep.
There are no such drive yards available, Lord Captain. Should we have those parts, they will be of little use to us.
Yes.
Return to Port Wanda will be necessary in order to utilize.
Would Pierre know that at all?
I mean, you would know that Port Wanda has facilities to repair a ship. You probably have not studied the Expanse enough to know what facilities are being established here. So there may even be refitting yards that are owned by particular dynasties, but there are no naval refitting yards within the Expanse.
Well, I was just meant as like knowing that you would need a refitting yard, which
it depends on the condition of the Hand of Calixis. But there were reports from what you were told that your mother was stripping components off the Hand of Calixis and taking them down to the surface of the planet to repair this ship she found.
Right. I think ultimately we'll just have to assess what it looks like and then perhaps make a trip to Port Wonder to fix up what we can and maybe recruit for. Let's discuss later.
Very well. Sister Miriam, how did you want to conduct our transfer? I've never done anything like this before, and I'll need you to guide me through it slowly.
All right. Off camera, for sure.
I mean, she just uses the glove to take some of my DNA, like a handshake or something, right?
Yeah.
I want to make this sound like it's a big deal to anyone nearby.
And that's why I want to leave it openly uncertain.
Like slaps you with a glove across the face and then takes the glove off. There, we're done.
That sounds correct.
Yeah. We'll worry about that on footfall. So she will leave as well at that point.
I'm going to turn towards Pierre and say, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm sure it can't be very different than the other times my genetic material has been taken. Lord Captain, the parts that we're speaking of were not meant for the Hand of Calixis.
I figure they were meant for the ship that she was trying to repair.
My concern is that if you hold on to these parts, it could seem to individuals that you were attempting to carry on your mother's legacy. The Lord Captain's work, I believe, led to her demise. We already know that there is inquisitorial interest in the Lord Captain, in this ship, in Regina 4. Holding on to these parts could pose a danger to your continued existence.
Indeed.
Sister Miriam cannot be trusted in this regard. Yes. She's working for those who have a vested interest.
Yes.
Whatever you do with this in the future, I believe that you should translate it through Garth.
Indeed.
If you can trust him. I mean, he seems too drunk to betray you.
That's precisely why I trust him.
Very well. Is there anything else, Lord Captain?
No, I just will tell you this, that my plan for the parts for now are to, if the Hand of Calixis needs it, to use them to refit them, to work on them as temporary or other things we need, and ultimately we can just resell them or see if we can get a return for our money.
Very well. I think Nero wants to say something else, but doesn't and leaves.
Okay.
All right. So anything else that you need to do on the Grace of Sofa before you're transported down to Footfall?
I would like to threaten Riani Soundtie.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I just want to get it all out of the way as early as possible.
Wait, all right. Threatening our navigator?
Yes.
So you head to her room where she's packing up her things ready to go. And you find her, you sort of knock on the door and she answers the door.
Can I come in?
Yes, please.
I'm going to close the door and then lock it.
Okay.
And then conspicuously heft my heavy bolter and say, sit down. We need to speak.
Okay. She sits down nervously, sort of puts her hands in her lap like she's sort of make sure her hands are visible.
Riani, you seem nervous.
Well, you seem tense.
I'm perfectly relaxed. You should be nervous, however. The last people to have the discussion that we're about to have were all found dead, and your family member, the previous Santai navigator, could be under inquisitorial suspicion and killed shortly. But we need to have this conversation for the security of the Lord Captain. If you repeat this to anyone, if you discuss it with anyone, if you report to the Inquisition, if you think about it at all, I will kill you. I understand that it will take some time to acquire a new navigator, but it is a compromise that I am willing to undertake.
She's quite uncomfortably on the sitting
yeah,
the
no, he smiles
cot,
encouragingly, which is not at all encouraging. He's just like, good, you understand the exact level of security and threat to you that not only I pose, but this information. My understanding is I've recently learned that the planets that we pass through in order to translate here to Footfall are called stations of passage. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
What do you know about something called the 13th station?
So there are, so first off, there are probably over 24 total stations that are utilized by ships translating through the Moor.
I understand. Tell me about the one that I asked about.
Yes, the rumors are that the 13th station was, the official line is that the 13th station was chartered by the rogue trader Pierre Cowles, who first chartered the Moor, but that subsequently the charts to the 13th station were lost. Others have claimed that the information on reaching the 13th station was redacted, potentially by the Inquisition, that there's something there. It's typical sort of treasure hunter rumor mongering, I think, but certainly I don't know how to get to the 13th discovered station, nor is it in any of the charts that were passed to me by your former navigator.
Do you know who would know?
Who would know where it is? I don't know anyone that does, and I think that information has a certain value to it as well. That people that know that would probably not give it up willingly. They'd probably want to sell that sort of information.
I see.
Does that answer your question?
He's going to continue staring at her and then give a huge smile while using his right hand to grip the grip of the heavy bolter and say, "That's all. This conversation never happened, and you've never heard of the topic we just discussed.
Okay. Don't
think about it. I'm going to have Garth check in on you periodically to make sure that you're not thinking about it."
She's just more uncomfortably, but nods.
I like you, Riani. Don't disappoint the Lord Captain. And then I'm going to unlock the room and leave.
Okay. There's like a palpable air of relief as you leave the scene.
Look,
all right.
Before the show started, James is like, "Here's a detective novel. Unravel this mystery." And I'm like, this guy is not smart. He is going to unravel this mystery by beating everybody to death.
Look, knowledge is half the battle. The other half is violence.
Okay. So you guys put in a shuttle along with Armelan and her key crew and taken down to Footfall. So you step off the shuttle into Footfall's longshore, and if you thought that Port Wanda was a mess, this place is it's almost like a bomb has gone off. There's just rubbish everywhere. Is that audio not too loud, by the way? I've just turned on tape on Roll20.
It's so not loud that I can't even hear it.
Okay, no worries.
No, I can hear it.
Sounds fine to me.
Cool. All right. So there's people moving everywhere. There are ratings just moving equipment from place to place. There are sort of like heavy cargo lifters. There are broken down heavy cargo lifters that are just sitting there rotting. You sort of see more Kroot among. So you see the Kroot that come off with Armelin, but there's also some other Kroot on board the station as well. Probably a different clan. They have a slightly different appearance to them, so slightly different sort of way they walk or way they look. It's hard to put your finger on it, but that they're distinctly
they're
different.
Krootishness. I understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean from each other. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are there, those little transports at like airports? They'll sometimes carry people on.
Yeah, the little sort of little buggies.
Yeah, is there an unattended one somewhere nearby?
Sure. Yep, there's an unattended buggy nearby. It's got stuff like piled up on it, like it's it's under a pile of boxes, but there is certainly one there.
I want to see if it's operational.
No, I feel like Nero will definitely summon such a conveyance.
I mean, if we can get one, that's fine. If
my
not,
characters all really like golf carts.
Yeah,
and he's a regular here. This port is not unknown to him, so he's going to definitely try to find a conveyance to transport everyone.
So you're walking around sort of like clapping your hands to get someone's attention to to attend to you. Could everybody give me an awareness -10 roll?
Perfect. Are we going to be stalked by another Cyber Eagle, but this time, instead of an Inquisitor, it's like the Chaos version of an Inquisitor, like a Dark Inquisitor?
Like a Dark Inquisition?
Yeah, exactly. You said -10? I have a 5 now. Great.
Wow, I rolled a nat 1, baby.
-7.5 degrees of success. That's the premium stuff.
I got a success.
And for those who aren't aware in the audience,
I'm going to
lower is better.
Because why not?
Well, so what was that? You're going to fate point it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, still failed it. That's fine.
Okay, so I would say that with your only 2 degrees of failure, Pondo, you have a feeling like you're being watched. For those of you that succeeded, so Cyrax and Garth, you actually observe that over to one side of this longshore, there's a figure in a robe, more like a hooded cloak, that is specifically watching your group as you move around. With your 2 degrees of success, Atomic, you can tell that the individual is probably not human. Just the way they look, the way they move is there's an inhuman quality to it. I don't think you haven't got Forbidden Law Xenos, do you?
I do not.
Okay, yeah. So you're not sure what it is, but there is definitely some sort of alien in a robe or cloak looking at observing your group from the side of the room.
Yeah, I definitely would have the as we're walking, I mean, because Surreal Skull follows me everywhere. It's definitely facing backwards. It's just floating because it only needs to know where I am, and it doesn't need to see in front of it. So it's floating backwards. It might pick it up, like that's how I see it or something. It's specifically watching for another one of these fithing birds.
Okay.
Now,
so you can probably
my abilities. Do I have the ability of any kind of telepathy or ability to impart an impression like we're being watched to the others without saying anything? So
certainly you have because you're a telepath par excellence. So yeah, telepathy is your main ability. So yeah, I don't even need a roll for this. You can easily form a mind link and share this information.
Oh,
others
absolutely.
might not like you sticking stuff in their mind, but that's their problem.
Now, is this two-way or is this just from him to the rest of us?
It's two-way. You can establish two-way.
Look,
you can easily establish two-way communication.
If Garth wants to take the chance on entering Cyrax's head, by all means, but
Oh God, it sounds like a fax machine.
Sounds like a fax machine. It's just dial-up noises. Why is I hate of the grinding of cogs?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that because I want to give no outward appearance that I notice, but
well, if you do that,
make sure everybody else knows.
The thing is, if you tell me, and I have a mask on, so like when I was on the bridge, when I was speaking over the Vox because I don't have a mouth to see to say that, oh, he's speaking. You wouldn't know unless you hear the Vox click, which is very short range when somebody activates the Vox link. Mm-hmm. So you could tell me, and then I could tell everybody else too there because we've all got like little earpieces.
Yep, I got comm bead.
Yeah, we all get comm beads, so we could do that, and then they wouldn't know.
I think when you establish a connection with, thank you for the host, Rachel. That's Rachel Messer, voice actor, anime voice actor, and they've just showed up for Sid.
Bombarded by Sidwood in chat now.
So Sid, when you as Garth establish this psychic link with Nero, all you get is, man, I'm so glad I had breakfast today. It really is the most important meal of the day. You rarely get to have it back on the home world. Oh, Garth? Like, he doesn't say it, but he like looks around and he's like, Garth, hello?
Yeah, so I just impart the image of the person watching us, and we're being watched, and
Nero, having no cool, immediately turns toward that person and starts talking towards them.
Okay, as soon as they're being observed, they duck into an off hallway. They immediately sort of turn and make themselves scarce as soon as someone.
Yeah, I mean, Nero's gonna communicate through the psychic link to the Lord Captain and say, Lord Captain, should I go chase them? I think in the psychic link, though, when he says Lord Captain to you, it's not the same as saying it out loud. Like, he believes that your mother was the real Lord Captain, that he will always follow. And I think you get a little bit of the impression, like when he says it to you, it's just like, it's just words. When he thinks Lord Captain, he's thinking your mom.
Cuts deep. I understand.
Yeah,
so anyways, you just get, should I go after them?
Yeah.
No, stay.
All right, yeah.
We follow, we could end up being in a trap.
I mean, Nero's just like, okay.
You scared them away.
Here's something I just
You
wondered.
learn to be a bit more covert.
Nero's just like, I'm sorry, I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
If I talk, when there's a psychic link, do you just hear the thought, or do you hear it in that person's voice?
In their voice.
Okay,
It's a
because
projected
I would
communication.
actually, because you would probably actually hear it in. If Cyrax said so, you'd hear it in his original voice.
Yeah, I'd be
not
like, who the fuck is that?
Flesh voice.
Garth, who are you? Who is this other person's thoughts that we're picking up on?
Into Cyrax, you idiot.
Holy shit. I think Nero's trying to stay cool and keep waving down one of these conveyances, and he's just like, wow, you sound really different.
Do you think I wear the mask for fun?
I don't know. I don't know anything about, beyond the fact that they communicate with the machine spirit and they do real cool stuff.
So he's gonna do something. I don't know. This might freak him out. So his face, just for reference for people who don't know, his face very much looks like this. I'm just not wearing it because it fucks with my glasses. But he can pop it off, and when he does, imagine a skull, but it's just made of metal. But you still see his cybernetic eyes, but it's just all metal. Like teeth is just closed. And he'll do that for a second, and then he'll put it back on. I have no flesh voice as you do.
Garth, how long are we going to keep this psychic link up? Like, I enjoy...
It stays up for a while.
I enjoy being able to communicate with all of you like this, but I'm really afraid that some of my thoughts might leak over.
So it does require maintenance, Sid. So effectively, it requires a portion of your concentration to keep the psychic
It's a
power.
constant.
I think at that point, being someone scared him off, I'll go ahead and drop it.
So out loud, Nero's going to say, look, I'm very sorry. It's just normally when people tell me that there's a threat to the Lord Captain, I go over and murder it.
Don't know that it was a threat, just someone watching us. I was hoping to be able to catch them unawares.
Well, the Lord Captain is neither portraying his bolter cane, nor is he wearing his, his good cape. So I didn't know that we wanted to be noticed.
According to my servo skull's aspect sweep, it had a non-standard life form pattern.
What does that mean?
Xenos.
Not human.
Yes, exactly. See, it's a threat.
Threats or opportunities?
What species I cannot say.
When you say threat or opportunity, I'm like, it's an opportunity to add another notch on the side of this heavy
It's
bolter.
an opportunity to make a threat.
Right now, let's not cause too much of a ruckus.
Speaking of threats and ruckuses, you guys notice a servo skull sort of flying through the crowd in your direction. It doesn't appear to be an armed servo skull of any type. It just seems to have, it's just a skull with an eyepiece and some little manipulator arms, but no actual weapons.
It doesn't have a
Like, oh, look,
brick of
Nero,
C4
threats.
duct tape to it, does it?
No.
Does it have an inquisitorial sigil on it?
No, it doesn't.
I
No,
do
Pondo,
not
it's
shoot
not.
it.
It's not being used to cast touch spells. Don't worry about it.
No, I was just wondering if it had a brick of C4 duct tape to it.
As
with
it
a
approaches,
detonator.
I'm going to talk to it and just say, bring the conveyance.
Pondo,
it's-
I'm gonna write that down for ideas for when I get sick of Servo Skull number 33.
It hovers probably about 5 feet away from the group, and it's one of its eyes sort of figures to life, and it starts projecting a scratchy sort of hololith onto the deck plate in front of you that shows a You think it's a man, although it's hugely cybernetically modified, almost to the point that its lower body is more vehicle-like than man. So it's almost like a conveyance at the base. Then it has a sort of a mechanical torso with 4 arms, and then its head is like a stylized silver death mask, although it still has human eyes inside the sockets, and you can sort of see like the flesh around the eyes that's been sort of peeled back, so it's more like you see the muscle membranes of the eyelids rather than actually seeing the skin. So it's almost like Grievous's eyes in General Grievous in Star Wars. How you sort of see like
we know who that is. Yeah.
Yes. But the way it's projected, this figure is slightly larger than you, probably about sort of 7 feet tall in this projection. And when it speaks, there's a sort of, you get the sense that it's a projected voice or it's a mechanical voice rather than there's no movement in the mouth, for example. But greetings,
hello there,
honored rogue trader. My name is Tanthus Moros. I am the liege of Footfall. It gives me pleasure to welcome you here amongst so many of your august companions. If you so desire, would you honor the nobility of Footfall with your presence at a small celebratory meal tonight?
Of course.
Do I know anything about this guy and like whether this offer is good or bad?
So Footfall is definitely a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and this guy is definitely the liege of Footfall. He's done that by killing the last liege, basically. So he's not a true imperial representative. He is simply just the most powerful crime boss, so to speak, on the station.
Or cruel.
He is probably a good person to have on side. You know, he doesn't sort of he manages to sort of stay out of most of the different conflicts on Footfall by simply being above them. So this is probably not a there's no malice intent in this invitation. It's an honest invitation so he can meet this new rogue trader. When he says nobility of Footfall, nobility really means, you know, the leaders of the different crime gangs, so to speak. It's not really, there is no true nobility here.
So while this comm line is open, I'm going to turn to Pierre and say, Lord Captain, what Lord Moron is trying to say, and I want to be clear that I know his name is Moros, is that he would like you to meet his criminal associates.
Oh. Well.
This is not a imperial facility.
I think it would be a rather opportune moment to be able to gain some connections.
You are looking forward to this man's alcohol supply, which is reputed to be vast and cheap.
See, cheap, therein lies the problem.
Just to be clear, Nero's intentionally trying to play the bad cop to draw this guy's attention away from any bad things that Pierre might say or piss this guy off with.
So as soon as Pierre said that we accept, you know, the Servo Skulls basically sort of said, you know, details follow, and it's just spat out like a details about how to get to the Liege's court in a time. You actually get the impression this is a pre-recorded message, that you're not in a two-way communication.
But you see, the skull is probably observing us right now.
Probably.
This ruse still useful.
Camera went out of focus, AP, by the way.
I know. It'll come back into focus whenever the hell it feels like.
Just making sure you know.
There we go.
Lord Captain, there is personal business for many of us to attend to on Footfall. Or mostly just me, because I've been here before. I could take you on a tour, or you could just observe the general area. I have several more people I need to threaten.
Okay. I'd say just tour away.
Very well.
So someone is now driving up in a golf cart as well.
Yep.
Probably you would recognize the man that's driving up as someone that you certainly saw the former rogue trader interact with from time to time. You believe he is one of the sort of the other criminal representatives on board the station. He's a tall, skinny man with a bald head with a couple of different cybernetic augmentations, not like a just like plugs, and a couple of leads come out of his head and connect to a system on his back. He wears a couple of thin glasses that are actually sort of attached to his face, so they can sort of be moved aside, but there's more sort of like a jeweler's lenses as such. They can be sort of moved in and out to give different
like owning two monocles. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It's bonacles. He is wearing like a long grey coat, and he for most of the sort of scum on Footfall, he's actually dressed relatively well. He has like an aquila on his lapel.
Does he appear clean?
Sorry?
Does he appear clean? Like his hygiene?
He appears clean. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm gonna stand half in front of Lord Cowles and say, "You are addressing Lord Captain Pierre Cowles."
He stands up and he bows very deeply. I have come to welcome you to Footfall, Lord Captain. I take it I believe this is your first visit here?
Unlike normally, Nero is not moving away from covering the Lord Captain.
Yes, this is my first visit.
My name is Vladim Tokara. You may call me Vlad if you prefer. I'm a representative here of a group of businesses that fall under the umbrella of the Kazbalika. I simply wished to provide you with a welcome, a conveyance, since I heard that your man was looking for a conveyance. I'm happy to leave you this one in your care. I'm sure we'll have chances to speak in the future, but if there's anything business-wise that I can help you with on, or at least if you're looking for contacts or looking for communications or who to reach out to, I am simply here to be your conduit to the business world of Footfall. I will give you my Vox frequency if you wish to reach out to me, but I'm sure that have you received an invitation to the dinner this evening for the newly arrived rogue traders? Well, if you are able to make it along, I'll be there as well.
I would like to mind probe this guy without his knowledge.
Certainly. Give me a -20. So it's a -20 to do it unknown to him.
Willpower, right?
Yeah, but you get +5 though as well for your psi rating of one while you're fettered. I'll roll his.
Would you like to fate point that?
I was gonna say use the power of fate.
Actually, I will like to fate point that. No.
No reason not to.
Okay.
Well, if you're going to fail, then probably not.
Yeah. You also get the impression this guy's quite strong-willed as well. Like just trying to tap around the edges, you sort of feel that he has clearly had some training in how to defend his mind from unwanted attention.
What is the cost of your aid?
It's the service that I render is a service to my clients. So by driving your business in their direction, they then compensate me for that business. You are a customer. They are the vendor. So I'm paid by the vendor.
I think Nero's gonna glance back at the Lord Captain for instructions on whether or not to kill this guy.
No.
All right, then
Fine,
he
fine.
starts marching menacingly forward to drive the cart.
I'll slap the heavy bolter like right next to him.
Yeah.
Almost like a fixed weapon position.
Yep. Vladim steps away from the cart and sort of gestures for you to all take it.
Are you driving or should I drive?
I'm driving. You don't know where you're going. Do you ask?
I mean, the servo skull gave us directions, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
to
but
the
that's
Legion's
not. We're
Court.
taking the tour right now. That's for dinner tonight.
All right.
Before he starts the machine up, he says, Cyrax, what can you tell me about this machine spirit of this conveyance? I don't like to turn anything on that might explode on me.
I don't know, James. What can I figure out about his machine spirit?
I mean, it's a simple machine,
Yeah.
and it's well used. So it probably obviously has a spirit, but it is
low grade.
Well, it's well maintained. It's appeased, so therefore there's probably no real concern. Nothing needed to be done with it right now.
Plus, I mean, the worst that can happen is like shut off.
Yeah.
It's not a reactor or something.
Provided he enacts the appropriate ritual of ignition, it should start fine.
Oh, this ought to be fun.
Show it the proper respect and it will serve us well.
Nero begins what he believes to be the ritual of ignition by turning the key.
Okay, then it starts. I mean,
Look,
it's an electric golf cart, so probably it doesn't kick over like a petrol motor. It is it just you hear the whir of the battery.
Yeah, the slight click as the electric motors power out.
Yep.
Lord Captain, your
Yes.
tour awaits.
Yes, please.
I will take you from every notable shithole to the next.
It sounds
I have
terrific.
heard several places where wine might be served of quality that is inferior to that of Port Wander.
I have no interest in low quality spirits.
I can find you a bar where the Navy officers hang out at.
It's not like I always need to drink, for the love of God, man.
He
I
gestures to
enjoy
the
it.
fact that you're holding a
I
glass
don't
right
need
now.
it.
So, are on this? Am I sitting beside Garth? Am I sitting beside you in this cart? Do you have a problem sitting beside the tech priest?
Was it Garth and Cyrax on the back and Pierre and Nero in the front?
I'd like to point out when Cyrax sits down, he weighs like 140 kilos.
It's more like one of those long golf buggies from like the airport where it's got like several rows, because you've also got like Miriam and Peck.
Oh, I was going to tell Miriam to take it on the court, but sure.
Okay, no, second.
I was going to intentionally disclude her because I'm pissed as fuck.
Ziani.
It's got like the driver's seat and then like the two benches or whatever.
Yeah, because the back two seats face backwards.
Yeah, I will extend one of the drinks that I took at the initial dinner, and I'll hand it to Garth.
I just wave it off. Yeah.
It retracts back another. Why I still have it? It's
Imbibement of
probably
alcoholic
too
drinks on this
aerated.
ride is not recommended. Then he's gonna kick the thing into gear and start driving people from one shithole location to the next.
So think
Garth
about
is just sitting in the back, impertinent grunt.
the best way I can describe Footfall is it's like Mars from Total Recall, where you've got these sort of like habitated areas that are connected by like underground tunnels, effectively. So it's several spire type buildings on the surface of this asteroid that you then get to sort of drive between, and then other parts of the of Footfall you can only get to by taking a shuttle to one of the smaller asteroids, which is tethered to the main one. The main part, the part you come into from the longshore, is called the Pit of Voices, and this is basically where all the major trade is done on Footfall. It's sort of it's I guess, and it's where the majority of things like bars and restaurants and habitations are. There is an actual probably full-on habitation wing as well for the people that live on Footfall. There is a major spire, which is like a church. There's a chapel of the Third Congregants. There is something called the Red Scholar, which is a place where you can go to buy slaves. There is something called the Spire of Intoxicants, where you can go to buy drugs. And there is something called the Xenosium, which is basically an area which has been set up for Xenos that are staying on Footfall, that has a number of different habitats.
I don't take them there.
That are more suitable to their individual needs.
That's the one where we're driving past it and I'm like, we don't go there. I specifically take them to any locations that involve the Cult of Redemption and the Logicians on board Footfall.
Okay. Yep. So the Cult of Redemption are primarily around obviously the Chapel of the Third Congregants. There's also so Footfall, the buildings on the main asteroid are sort of set up in a ring around a giant statue, which is on the outside on the actual the asteroid part of the God Emperor, which stands nearly 2 kilometers or 1.5 miles tall, basically. And sort of the domed ceilings of the hubs actually allow you to basically see this statue from anywhere, or most anywhere on Footfall. Although once again, anything that's got like a lot of outside light coming in has just the red glare from the sun in the system as well. You do know that the macro statue of the God Emperor is also hollow, and so there are facilities inside it, but you can only access it by going across the outside of the asteroid. So probably some of the Redemptionists also have place there. The Logicians operate primarily around the Pit of Voices, but they also have some dealings with the Red Scholar as well.
Really?
Sorry?
Okay. I mean, I just wouldn't have thought. The Logicians are the Adeptus Mechanicus cult on planet, right?
Yes.
What are they doing with slaves? I mean, I want to know that as a character. Nero doesn't care in character. But...
They convert them to servitors, probably.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
slaves, anything.
Anyone that's familiar with the Dark Heresy setting will know that the Logicians are actually a and probably if you got Forbidden Law Adeptus Mechanicus.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Give me a roll on that if you like. I'll give you +10.
Okay.
You say Dark Heresy, now I'm worried that they're super bad dudes.
5.5 degrees of success.
Okay, so you do know the Logicians are a prescribed Mechanicus cult. They are declared as heretics by the Inquisition and by the cult Mechanicus. They sort of those that follow the guidelines of the Logicians have sort of fled to Footfall to avoid persecution.
They're escaping sanction pretty much.
Yeah,
so is there not a Adeptus Mechanicus presence here?
Not on Footfall. There is, or in the Footfall system, there is a templum called the Alta Templum Calixis X-17, I believe it is, which is a research station closer to the sun.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep. Well, does Nero know the thing about them being heretics? Yeah, I'm gonna keep that to myself for now.
Listen, Nero didn't learn about the Inquisition existing or being real until like 4 days ago.
Sounds
and now he's finding out that he's
insulting, if you ask
surrounded-
me. Hey, here's some of your friends. Bunch of heretics.
I mean, look, for him, when he goes past the Logicians, he's just like, these guys are very good at maintaining your arms and armor. I stop in to them occasionally, but not often.
Yeah, Cyrax is. I mean, he knows, but he's gonna kind of keep it. Like he knows they're kind of a lesser evil. It's not his job to hunt down heretics. If they provide a service that we can make use of, use your enemy's weapons against them, kind of thing. So he'll keep it to himself for now.
And then Nero concludes the tour and says, well, that's the tour. Now, I have shopping, I have threatening, I have genetic material swapping, and I need to send a message with Garth, so I'm actually very busy. Get off my cart. All of you, get off. Except for you, Lord Captain, I don't give you orders. You do whatever you want. And he turns, I think, like he semi-glares at Miriam because he's still getting around the fact that she's part of the faction that just tried to kill the Lord Captain.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, fuck you.
I'll hop off.
Cyrax hops off and the suspension goes up a little bit.
Yep.
Very
summons Tech,
slowly
heads off.
get up. Like taking 5 times longer than it should.
You say
Pierre,
here, Garth, I'm
also-
going to need to talk to you in a few minutes.
Please.
Please.
Oh, very well.
Pierre, you do get a communication as well, just a text communication from Charlebel Armelin, just letting you know that basically inviting you to the dinner tonight if you haven't already been invited, because she is attending, along with the other rogue traders that have arrived here recently. Is Pondo frozen or just very... No, he's blinked. There we go.
Yep. No, he's not frozen.
That's how you know. He just doesn't move very much.
He was almost invisible.
Sorry.
There's a reason why I made that, Vietnam 1,000-yard stare meme.
Yeah. He's trying to blend into the background, like a chameleon.
Working on it.
I'm still curious as how you got it to be so dark.
It's because of the lighting, I think.
Lord Captain, might I have a word with you very privately, very quickly, about tonight's dinner?
I hopped off the cart.
I'm going to combead you privately.
Oh, okay.
Lord Captain.
Yes.
At tonight's dinner.
I'm still on the cart. Can I hear it?
I know. Yes. I'm whispering, but it's not unhearable by someone who's sitting next to me. And I say, tonight at the dinner, it would be well for you to search out the Beast House. and at least be aware of their presence.
Okay.
I believe that there is an opportunity to be made from them. It
These
certainly would
tasks.
not hurt to be friends with true nobility.
Very well.
Garth, I have 2 messages to send, and he just kicks the cart into grandma gear. You know, he's moving forward at the exactly prescribed speed limit. He's not going anywhere in particular, he's just driving to drive.
Like slightly faster than walking speed.
Just before you do that, I would like to. I'm gonna just not even trying to be subtle.
Nero, where might one acquire hand grenades?
Everywhere.
Noted.
And then I'm gonna fuck off.
I mean, he'll just point to a street vendor. Just be like, I recall that man over there selling me some pretty useful hand grenades. Hey, look, if you get extra, bring me some.
I'm just not even gonna acknowledge this. I'm already gone. Single-minded purpose.
Goes to the hand grenade vendor, which is basically the My Cabbages guy.
My cabbages!
Cabbages.
I need you to send 2 messages, Garth. Please.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Cyrax.
This is a carjacking. If you resist, it will turn into a homicide.
Just takes the cart and fucks off. No, I'm not gonna do
I have
that.
an issue, Garth. What I'm about to discuss with you. The problem is that if I tell you one of these messages could put you at some measure of risk.
I am but a messenger. But bear in mind, though, the greater the distance, the more difficult it will be to send the message.
It's
If
just
it is
going
too
back
great of a
to-
distance. It may need to be relayed through the Astropath network.
It's going to Port Wander. Both of them.
Is that within my range?
Yeah, that's so you personally can't send. You have to go to the choir in order to do this. Like you can only really send astropathic messages within
You need
a
a
couple
boost.
of miles. But
Oh,
yeah,
so I
effectively-
need to make use of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can encode the message in a way that then the astropaths here can't understand it.
Yeah, it's not the same as you like telling them the message, or just you're using them to boost your signal more or less.
Mhm. I need your antenna brains.
It's more or less. I mean, it's kind of how it works.
Yeah, so, I mean, Nero's telling you, like, if you don't want to be involved with this, Garth, you do not have to be. At least one of these messages. The other one should be normal-ish.
I will warn you now, Nero. If any of this goes against the Lord Commander, it will not end well for you.
The Lord Captain?
Ooh, the
Yes.
counter threats.
This is for the Lord Captain.
And then we should have no issue whatsoever.
Very well. First message, the more important one, needs to be sent to Izarin Xantai, back on Port Wander, at the Xantai residence.
Very well.
Query. Inform me of your knowledge of the 13th station. End query. I suppose my name should be appended to it, so that he knows where to send the receipt.
All right.
Message 2. Dear Anessa Pendergast, as I've only recently learned of the existence of the Inquisition, I'm not sure about the specific mannerisms of communication. Since you have taken up an interest in my Lord Captain, whom I provide security to, I wish to provide you a log of daily activities and heresies of the crew. There have been no heresies. I will now provide you with my weekly activity log of my own. As follows. Push-ups, sit-ups, rifle drills. God,
Just make a note. Physical activity.
Garth, I realize that this might take a while. However, I am intentionally attempting to upset the Inquisitor. I have reduced 20 pages of notes to 2 paragraphs.
Might I ask why you are attempting to upset that particular Inquisitor?
Who tried to kill me?
She tried to test you. If she was trying to kill us, I have a feeling that the people that she had employed would have been of a somewhat higher caliber.
I don't disagree with you. However, the number of people who have tried to test me are innumerably dead. The number of people who have tried to kill me are also equally innumerably dead.
Oh, I don't doubt. If any of them had attempted to kill you and succeeded, then you would not be here. And because
Correct.
they failed, stands to reason that they are no longer amongst the land of the living. It is how that tends to work.
I see we
However-
are in agreement about how temporal physics works. Yes.
However, I believe that her intent was not at all to even place us in any great deal of danger. It was more to be able to suss out at least a limited scope of our abilities and to let us know that she was aware of us and our presence.
I don't disagree with anything you've said, Garth. However, I am attempting to provoke her to continue a line of communications with her. She has placed one of her agents in our company, and that means that she remains a continued threat. If she is an ally, then she can
Continued
present
threats or
herself
a
as such.
continued resource.
A threat. When
You
she
see
is
everyone as a-
resourcely, we can
You
believe her
see
to be a
everyone as a
resource.
threat, though.
Yeah,
see,
I mean, yeah,
I've
he
been too-
nods and he says, "Yes, of course. I believe you could be a possible threat."
Well, that's
However,
not in doubt. Bear in mind, though, of the two inquisitorial presences that we've been encountered with,
Three.
she strikes me. Was it 3? I seem
oh,
to
you've only
recall-
seen 2 of them, but there are 3. Yes.
I'm aware that there were 3, but we've only
And there's
seen
another one back on
interactions with
Scintilla,
2.
or possibly 2. Yes.
But
There's
of the 2
so
that
much
we've
inquisition.
interacted with in some way or another, she seems actually, to my mind, to be by far and away the less threatening of the 2. Are you sure you wish to antagonize her?
I would rather her attention be focused on me than on Lord Captain Cowles.
And if her attention is focused on you, it would be focused on the Lord Captain as well.
My mistakes are my own.
Not entirely true. Not as far as an Inquisitor is concerned.
You've given me much to think about, Garth.
I will send the message as you requested.
No,
but
send the
I-
first message to Xantai. I need to threaten him some more. He knows things that he is not
Yeah,
sharing.
that I have no problem with whatsoever.
Yes, I know we said we were going to leave him alone, but more information has come to light.
No, not a problem. I will also, of course, make certain that the sending is encrypted, and I will request encryption on return.
He can encrypt it in the tongue of the Hand of Calixis. Now, Garth, I'm stopping here at this particular bar because this is where the officers of the Hand of Calixis would stop at when they preferred good alcohol. I'm not saying you have to get off. I just want you to note that this is where you can get the good stuff.
I never imbibe when I have duties to perform. You know, I'm not quite the sauce monkey as you make me out to be.
How professional.
Perhaps later, though. In the meantime, where is the choir located in this
I have no idea.
place?
You can get directions to the choir from somebody quite easily.
So I'll say I have no idea, and then I wave my heavy bolter into the crowd and say, "Does anyone know where the Astropathic choir is located?"
Someone will direct you. Under threat of heavy bolter.
Very well.
Get out of
Would
my
you
car.
care-
I need to go shopping.
That answers my question. Enjoy a day.
Yeah. What do you want to do next, James? I actually do have to go shopping, but I feel like I'm kind of showboating here.
Well, should we do a break now?
I'd actually prefer to go ahead and get this roll out of the way.
Okay, because I know that also atomic wants grenades, so I've got that ready.
Yeah,
I
let's
was
just
also
go ahead and
gonna
get that done.
grenades.
There are 3 constants in life, James: death, taxes, and atomic wanting grenades.
I think that's what Pierre and Cyrax are doing. Is like grenades, huh?
Yes,
So-
I do enjoy
I
my
think moments
throwing
later, Nero
explosives.
drops up and is in the cybernetics wear section. He's like, "Oh, hey guys."
Fancy seeing you here. Even though I literally asked about grenades.
Do you have any shape charges?
I just
Okay,
had
so
this
you
idea of what to do with my servo skulls.
What quantities of C4 do you
I
have?
We have
mean,
shape charges and duct tape.
look, you take out the aspect bits, and then you got the empty cranium, you just shove it full of debt tape. and you plug it, and no one would ever know.
Plastic explosive with a detonator wire sticking
There's
out.
a reason why it's servo skull number 33, and most of them are not taken out by the enemy. Let's put it that way.
So if you want to buy consumables, the way it normally works is that you buy a certain number, and effectively you've got like a line on those. So that means if you buy, say, 10 grenades, and you throw 10 grenades in an adventure in a session, you've got 10 grenades the next session as well. Effectively, it's a supply you've acquired rather than the actual physical objects.
Yeah.
So, starting with grenades, what kind of grenades are you looking for, and in what quantity?
Standard frag grenades, and I'm trying to find what their rarity is. I know what
They're common.
They're common.
Oh,
Common.
yeah.
Yep. So,
So
commons
I'd
plus.
say get 5 frag grenades for now.
Yep. So commons plus 20. Wanting 5 is plus 20 as well. So that brings you up to plus 40. So you're at a 79% chance before your commerce test.
Ooh boy. I got the known warrant. Does that give me the plus 10 as well?
Yeah, in this case it will.
Am I doing it, or are you making the roll? Because you're...
So who's got the best commerce should make the roll.
I guarantee it's him.
That'd probably be me because I'm rolling at a
I don't even
108.
I don't even think I have commerce.
Sorry, did you say 108?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
no, rogue traders they buff the hell out of commerce.
Ow.
So
Just don't roll a 100, and we got frag grenades.
wow, that's actually rolled still high, but I got it.
Okay, so that gives you an extra plus 10. So you're
Oh, that was not my commerce. Hold on a second. I need
Oh,
that
that's commerce.
was my regular commerce. This is my regular commerce.
Sorry.
Well, plus 10, so it'd be 2 successes. Still?
Okay, no worries. Cool. Okay, so then you've got plus 10 on your acquisition test.
So again, it's a
89.
89.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Wait, you're rolling it? Oh yeah.
There you go.
79.
You have
That's
5
still
frag
high.
grenades.
Nice.
Can we also get crack grenades?
Yes. Crack grenades are rare, I believe.
I think so.
So I think we just want to get 1
rare.
for now.
Okay, so minus 10 for rare, plus 30 for only wanting 1 is plus 20 total, which would be a 59% chance before your commerce test.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Do you
So
want to
put
fade
this up
that?
in there.
If we need anti-armor grenades right now, you got bigger problems.
Don't worry. I am a fucking crack grenade.
I
that
am the
we-
anti-tank
Yeah,
weapon.
don't worry about it. I got your anti-tank.
I'll fate point it because I don't see why not. I got 3.
I don't know if you do actually, because it's a heavy bolter, not a laskin.
I got the
There we go.
hell gun.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so that gives you plus 20 total, so it brings you back up to 79% chance.
Nope.
And there you go.
Ah, wow.
You didn't roll 1d100.
Oh, no,
you
I
rolled
didn't press R.
100.
Oh, you
Sorry,
just hit
okay,
roll
nice.
100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There we go. Okay.
There you go. One crack grenade added to your equipment list.
Okay.
And I'm looking for the Mine Impulse Unit weapon interface. Rare, so minus 10 plus 30.
Minus 10 plus 30, so plus 20 total. So you're at a 59 before your commerce test.
Do you want me also to do
I
that?
think that Nero edges beside the Lord Captain and is like, Lord Captain, this
I'm with him.
This device would allow me to perform even greater acts of interdiction.
Okay.
Violence.
Violence does not accurately describe
Gratuitous
my art.
violence.
So,
So that's extra plus 5, so 64% chance.
okay. Nope.
You fate point
Not
that?
yet. Huh?
You can't fate point a commerce test because it's not a skill roll. Sorry, private factor test.
Very well.
Yep.
They don't have any available. Nero's just like a dog.
Sad.
Yeah.
Can we get a sheet for like a grouped inventory? Well, how about this? I will give out the frag grenades to at least 1 each. And
Well, I'm not there. I'm heading for the choir.
Well, I mean for the future.
Yeah.
Everybody can take
We
at
might
least-
start a Google Doc with group gear because eventually you're going to want to start amassing your own armed forces as well
Yeah.
and buying like lads guns in the thousands.
Yeah, we could do that.
buying glass guns in thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make a Google Doc of it. Make it easiest. Okay. Anybody need anything else?
I mean, Nero's used his acquisition. He's very sad.
I mean,
Poor Garth, he's never around on the shopping trip.
Well, you can.
I'm gonna combi Garth and just be like, Garth, do you need anything? We're buying.
See, I
large
don't
weapons.
even know. I don't even know what would help an Astropath. So,
I mean, you've got the main thing that you want, which is a psi focus. So the only thing making more effective in combat is a force weapon, but they're extremely hard to get.
yeah.
Garth, do you want any weapons or armor or anything?
Force weapons.
Force weapon, like a force sword, or like a force staff.
Sword.
Sword. Lord Captain, Garth would like a force sword.
Yes.
Good dealer. Do you have any force swords in stock?
Good luck with that.
Yes.
Garth, they're saying that maybe they might not have them. We're gonna have Pierre check the back.
That doesn't make
This
any
fine.
sense.
Would you like a shotgun? I have spares.
Garth, Cyrax is asking if you want a spare shotgun.
My God, is this a store or a swap meet?
Okay, so they're very
I also
very
have
rare.
a lot of weapons if you need any rifles or anything.
So it'd be plus 10 total, so a 49% chance of getting a common quality force sword.
Before the commerce.
Yep.
I'll take a shot. Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay. 5.3 degrees of success.
Okay, so that adds 25 more, so brings it up to 74.
Yeah, I got a force sword.
There you go. Yep.
Garth, it seems like they have one, but maybe it might take a while to get it.
Yeah, it'll probably take, I think, D10 days for that level of rarity. So
They're saying 10 days. I don't understand.
One day.
One day.
One day.
They aren't using the Vigilus
Having
calendar.
it tomorrow.
I think Pierre's like, I see the display model right there. It is obviously available.
We've done this before, yeah. Garth, good news. They're going to have one available tomorrow. It's invoiced in your name. All right, I'm hanging up the combi
It's
now.
a
Unless you need it.
mandatory 1-day waiting period.
We have a frag
Have to
grenade
pass the
for you.
background check.
So
Do you want a frag grenade, Garth?
What?
depends how good your ballistic skill is.
Garth, are you capable of handling a frag grenade?
No, thank you. Just the force sword.
Lord Captain, I'm hanging up now.
Okay.
I don't think he knows how to use a frag grenade, so.
Yeah, my
It's
ballistic
not that
skill's only
hard. Pull the pin
35.
and toss it to an area and hope it doesn't roll back.
Lord
Pretty much.
Captain, I know that doesn't sound very hard, but I have seen men kill themselves and several other men around them.
Yeah, you have to roll.
And this is me rolling the dice here.
what you have to fumble. Well, what happens is you fumble and you drop it, and then it does the scatter thing, and then you have to roll a 1d10, and anything other than a 10, it's a dud. But if it's
You
10,
drop it, you
goes
scatter it, and then you do the hot potato thing. And
off. Yeah.
Lord Captain, it's better that Garth has a sword instead of a grenade, I believe.
Yes.
We had a long-running joke in my 40K group that there was a misprint in the first edition of Rogue Trader book, which when you had details for scattering on grenades in zero gravity, you roll once for the X and Y axis, and again for the Y axis. This was supposed to be Z axis, but they misprinted it to say Y again. So we had this regular joke running that there is no Z axis in 40K, that everybody wears big frill collars and big rimmed hats and only really perceives the world in one plane of existence. And when you join the Inquisition, they sort of say to you, okay, here are the secrets of the universe. There are also things up and down from where you are.
By the omniscient.
conceivable.
It's like once somebody learns about chaos, it just explodes. It's like, what the fuck?
All right. We'll be back in about 8 to 10 minutes for the second half. Stick around. As you know, it's always Easter somewhere in the world.
That's not true.
It is true today.